daily, now, late afternoon. Normally I get on in the morning, but I started editing right away, and I had a little bit of momentum, and so I wanted to keep it going until I stopped, and then I decided I would come on and tell you guys what's going on and say hello for the day. Right at the top, I want to give you my tip. My tip is about editing today. Um, Remember, I talk about acting, directing, and editing. So the tip today is when you're editing a project and you get new scenes, how do you handle it? Or how do I handle it? But if you've edited before in something like Premiere or Final Cut Pro or any of the popular editing, nonlinear editing programs, this tip will help you. So I was in the project I'm editing. I was probably about 45 or 50 minutes in, and I knew there were scenes missing. The director had to do a pickup day, and so last weekend he did the pickup day, and he sent me the scenes that needed to be inserted. So what I did and how I handle that is during the edit, I put scene markers that I created in places where the scenes would go. So as I was reading the script, I saw what scenes were missing, and I put scene markers. So when the new footage came in over the weekend, I brought it into my project. And what I did, the main part of this tip, the very important part of this tip, is when you're inserting scenes and they need to be edited, it's raw video, it's safer to edit in a new timeline. So what I did was I created a working timeline that had all the same sequence settings as the timeline I'm currently editing the project in, and I edit those scenes individually in the work timeline. So the reason I like to use the work timeline is that I don't have to worry about making a mistake and moving scenes around or moving audio around or moving special effects around, because I had put some limited special effects in, but I had a lot of detailed editing. And some of the scenes were earlier in the film. So what would happen if I tried to insert those scenes and start moving stuff around, there is the distinct possibility that I could move something down the timeline that I don't want to move. So the tip is when you're adding scenes or you're making revisions, work in a new separate update timeline. You can name it whatever you want. I usually just call mine work file, and I know that the scenes inside there are new work scenes, but that might be even a better, clearer name. New work scenes or missing scenes. Whatever your workflow will help you, whatever naming convention will help you remember what the new file is, what the new sequence is, name it something that way. And so I cut those scenes into separate work file, work sequence, excuse me, and then I take those completed scenes and I copy them. Now I don't erase them from the work file, I copy them from the work file and I paste them into the actual edit sequence where they go. So that's a quick tip. If you have to make changes, major changes, I'm not talking about one little slice here or there or fixing something minor. I'm talking about if you have to re-edit a whole scene or you have to add a completely new scene, I suggest you work in a new timeline sequence. Get the scene polished, ready to go, and then copy it and paste it into your timeline that you're working on. That's just a tip, an editing tip, to stay consistent, to avoid mistakes, and to make your editing flow smoother. Just a quick tip. So, a little update, quick little update. Thanks for stopping by. I see some people are stopping by. Feel free to go to my channel. You'll see it in the description below, and watch some of my playlists. I'm moving up, getting close to my 1,000 subscribers, and I thank all you guys, everybody, and this is no joke. I thank everyone for helping me. I didn't think that my topics would really get that much interest, but I'm starting to gain more interest. My subscriber count is growing. My watch hours are growing. People are starting to share my content. My shorts are going really well in the shorts feed. What I'm doing right now, the vertical live, you guys are watching it. People are joining. People are even watching it after it's over. They're watching the replay of it. So I really appreciate this. Being on YouTube and talking about what you know about, I think that's the best of both worlds. I've been a teacher in the past. I've taught on college level, UCLA extension program. I've taught adult school. I've taught at continuing education schools, ROP programs. I've even taught down as low as grammar school level. So I have experience teaching, and I do enjoy teaching. But this is the best, I guess, iteration of teaching that I've had in my career. I've been at this for 35, 40 years, creating, editing video, acting, directing, and editing. And I love talking about this. And here on YouTube, I have a great audience that's built in that chooses to listen to what I'm saying, that chooses to ask me questions, that chooses to follow me. And it makes it all worth it. That's no BS. But anyway, back to what I'm doing today. I'm editing the feature film, moving along, finishing it up. I would say I don't know how my progress is going, but today went really well. I did 2 complete scenes today, and I took those scenes and I plugged them in. And I've also found some establishing shots because the project needs some establishing shots. So I found a great resource for establishing shots that fit the theme of the film. So I added those in, and everything is going smooth. So tomorrow I will continue to edit on the feature film. It's coming along nice. I'm happy with it. This is what I call the rough cut. Now, when I do a rough cut, what I do is I go by the script and I just lay it out. I lay it out based on what the writer put in the script. I don't try to get creative yet. I just put all the scenes down, and I'm not worried about the running time. If it runs 2 hours, it runs 2 hours. And then myself and the director and the producer, we decide what scenes need to go because we're going to get it somewhere down to a normal 90-minute running time for a feature film. But I don't care at this rough stage. I just lay everything out. I want to get all the scenes there. I want to get all the scenes in order, and then we move on from there and we start polishing it. It's always better when you're editing to have more content than not enough. The worst thing is having not enough content. I remember years and years ago, I was directing a film, directing and editing a very low-budget B movie with Robert Zadar. Any of you familiar with B actors? I think he's passed away now, but Robert Zadar, you can look him up on the internet. One of his big movies, his claim to fame was Maniac Cop. But anyway, he was in a movie I directed and edited, and it turned out too short. We didn't shoot enough footage, and it was a nightmare trying to fill that out to a 90-minute running time. So that taught me one big lesson. Always shoot extra footage. Always shoot more than enough. And that's what I've done from that day, which was probably in the late 90s, shot more. Extra footage. I always would prefer to throw stuff away and just keep the good stuff. So anyway, that's what I'm doing now. I'm editing the rough cut. And I'm going to cut that, and then we'll move forward polishing it. So everything is going smooth today. Just wanted to check in with you guys. I'm sorry I can't see your comments down here. I decided to do a little shoot out on the front porch today because it's a nice day. It's not too hot. Our heat wave is kind of breaking here in California, and so we've got some nice weather. Decided to get from behind the computer, and I might even take a little break after I finish with you guys and suck up a little bit of this sun. So check out my website. Watch some of my playlists. That's going to help me. I appreciate your help. Watch some of my playlists. What I'm working on now is building up those watch hours. I have plenty of content. And I just met with another artist that will be doing some hanging mic performance here on my channel. And I hope, if all goes well, we'll be shooting that next week. And what I plan to do is put it up, and then I plan to make some behind-the-scenes footage to show you guys how I edited this together. And I'll talk about how I produce these. And I plan to put up a bunch of these too because I actually enjoy those. They're a simplified version of a music video. And I plan to shoot and put these up and explain the process of how I made these, how I choose the talent, the whole process. So that's going to be a separate video. As I'll put up the performance first, and then I will make a video talking about how I made it, how it came together, all that kind of good stuff. So that's just another series that I plan to create here on YouTube. Have some comedy series. I have my educational videos. So take a look around. I know there's something for everyone. I'm trying to continue to create more content, working on the humor stuff. I have some of that in the pipeline also. And so thank you for watching. Go to the channel and share some of my stuff. I appreciate it. People have been sharing my links, and that really helps me, and I do appreciate it. I appreciate all the help you guys are giving me. So I will see you again, maybe this evening, but definitely, most definitely tomorrow. I'll check in again on the Vertical Live, because when I look at those analytics, that's where a lot of you guys find me. That's where a lot of you guys look at my content, and that's my biggest connection and outreach to you guys here on YouTube. So I will see you maybe later, but definitely tomorrow. And if you have any questions, my email is below. You can find ways to contact me. My email is the best. Shoot me an email. Let's start a conversation if you're working on a project, acting, directing, or editing. I look forward to talking to you again. Thanks a lot.